Coming up tonight, Letitia James joined 18 attorney generals to defend Vermont's right to ban large-capacity magazines.
The trial begins for an Onondaga County mom being charged with criminally negligent homicide.
And New York State nurses are filing a lawsuit against Albany Medical Center.
WTOP 10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News. I'm Matthews Frank.
And I'm Jamie Kane.
Attorney General Letitia James joined a group of 18 state attorney generals to defend Vermont's right to ban large-capacity magazines, which give guns higher assault capabilities. The state filed a suit entitled State of Vermont versus Max B. Mitch of the Vermont Supreme Court, which will determine if the prohibition violates the constitutional right to bear arms.
The law banned magazines that hold more than 10 rounds of ammunition for long guns and 15 rounds for handguns. Letitia James came out with a press release today where she says, quote, "There is simply no reason for any civilian to have access to such extreme firepower. In New York, we restricted large-capacity magazines because they put our communities at great risk, and we have a responsibility and a right to protect our residents. We will do everything in our power to uphold these critical and common-sense public safety measures and prevent gun violence."
A trial has been set for 29-year-old Brooke Renzi of Rome, who is being charged with criminal negligent homicide for the death of her 6-month-old daughter. Authorities say she put her daughter to bed on a mattress instead of a crib which she owned, and then proceeded to smoke marijuana when she checked on her daughter at 11 a.m. the next day she had passed. Brooke Renzi's trial has been set in Onondaga County for October 28th.
Former Syracuse basketball player Eric Diefendorf joined the relief effort in the Bahamas. Diefendorf said that the damage was so bad that he could not even help rebuild. It's still a lot of cleaning up to do before they even start rebuilding. There's still cars all over in the middle of the road. Diefendorf hopes that people begin to see how bad the situation in the Bahamas is right now.
Flu season has arrived, but SUNY Oswego is fighting back by offering free flu shots. Flu shots will be offered tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and on Wednesday, October 23rd from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. This year, the shots will be offered on the second floor of Hewitt Union at Health Services. The CDC reports that 2.9 million people have gone to the doctor since October for the flu. If you need accommodations, call Health Services at 315-312-4100.
2 teenagers are dead after the SUV they were in plunged off of a New York overpass and burst into flames. Another teen was in the crash but survived. Rena Roy reports.
Fiery and flipped over, this car had 3 teens inside when neighbors heard it come crashing down near the Crooked Hill Road overpass.
I was washing the car, and all of a sudden I heard this big bang.
Police say the trio was driving on Route 304 just before 3:30 Sunday afternoon when it went over the guardrail after colliding with another car. A 15-year-old girl named Sania Seakick of Brooklyn and a 17-year-old boy named Alton Nizaj of Pearl River were both killed. The driver, 17-year-old Aisha Radonkik of Orangeburg, was badly injured but survived. Pearl River High School officials say she's a student there along with one of the teens who died. People who live nearby desperately tried to help as the Porsche SUV burst into flames.
We started trying to get fire extinguishers, and we started trying to put out the fire because all we heard was this poor girl screaming, and she was screaming terribly.
The driver of the other car, which did not go over the rail, was not hurt. Meantime, Route 304 was shut down and part of the New Jersey Transit Pascack Valley line was suspended in both directions as emergency responders worked to extinguish the fire. No word on what caused the crash.
Thank God the fire department came and they started dousing it with water and whatever else they could. And to tell you the truth, it took a long time. I kept seeing the flames. No matter what they did, they just kept coming up.
At last check, Radonkik is in the hospital with serious injuries. No word on if officials expect any charges to be filed because of the crash.
The New York State Nurses Association is filing a lawsuit against Albany Medical Center due to poor working conditions. The Nurses Association has stated that the hospital is breaking human trafficking laws by threatening to charge nurses from Philippines $20,000 if they leave their job and deportation. The Nurses Association argues that the financial cost and change of deportation has caused Filipino nurses to not leave Albany Medical. Albany Medical denies the allegations.
Governor Cuomo is in hot water after he used the N-word in a radio interview. Cuomo used the slur when the interviewer asked him about changing the name of Columbus Day. He said the slur while quoting an article from the Times-Union paper. Cuomo said that as a Sicilian American growing up in New York City, he had to deal with derogatory terms as well. He went on to say how we need to be more sensitive to stereotypes and discrimination.
A new poll reveals that most New Yorkers do not want to divide the state. Siena College conducted a poll from October 6th through October 10th and discovered that 66% of the state does not want to split. Assemblyman Stephen Hawley brought the idea up last year. But according to Siena College, poller Steve Greenberg is unlikely to happen as there is not enough support for the cause. Coming up later tonight, Taco Bell issues a recall on beef.
And actress Felicity begins her sentence following the college admissions scandal.
Now let's take a quick look at the weather with Storm Team 10 meteorologist Bethany Strong.
Good evening, and looking at our current conditions, we've got calm winds. It's feeling about 43 degrees right now, dew point at 37, so we're not looking at any precipitation tonight. And looking further into Syracuse, 46, nice calm winds, 5 miles per hour, a little cloudy. Looking at our radar tonight, nice and clear, but that is about to change tomorrow, so tune in after the break. Good evening and welcome back. I'm Storm Team 10 meteorologist Bethany Strong. Right now I want to look at our current weather conditions across the United States. We've got some nice warm weather down south. Dallas looking really nice in the 80s. Right after all that snow they had in the central U.S., they really need that warm weather right now. And as you can see up north, our friendly neighbors Canada, we got the cold front moving down the U.S. and slowly pushing across the U.S. and up later tomorrow and back down again to the eastern U.S. as we move throughout the day. And into Thursday morning, we're going to have colder conditions, but that's coming up later in our forecast. Our current temperatures right now, 49 degrees for Oswego, not looking that bad, 50 in Fairhaven. And as we move into Jefferson County, we have those low 40s, but it's okay because we've got that nice warm weather down here at the southern Oswego. Whew. Looking further out at the state, we've got the low 50s down in Jamestown, 49 in Buffalo looking real nice, Rome 46, Fulton 43 looking real nice. For our current winds, we have 9 mile per hour winds and slowly moving in mid-10. Yep. We've got mid-20 degree, 20 mile per hour winds throughout Oswego throughout the day tomorrow morning, really messing up our commute. And going into our later afternoon, coming home, 13 miles per hour, not that bad, coming right off the lake. And as we can see in Jefferson County, those winds calm down, but that's going to be a total reflection of our rainfall tomorrow. And going again into Thursday, we see those high winds continue throughout the rest of the coast to the Lake Ontario, but that's okay. Currently, our conditions, as we said earlier before the break, nice clear weather. We can see those clouds rolling across the lake through tonight. Tomorrow morning, we can see that rain over here slowly making its way across the lake and finally hitting us around 2 p.m. And then as we hit our later commute, nice heavy rainfall throughout the whole county and moving slowly across the state. We can see that rain stick right around here. It's just gonna stay there and then slowly move back. So we're gonna have some nice rainfall. And as you can see, we have accumulated rainfall from tomorrow, Thursday. Make sure you pack your raincoat, umbrella. You know, gonna have about 1 inch of rain in Oswego. We can see over here in Jefferson County, 3 inches. That's pretty heavy. So we're gonna have some nice accumulated rainfall soaking right into the ground. For our AM commute tomorrow, we'll look at it nice, partly cloudy, easy breezy commute tomorrow morning. As we come into the afternoon, we're gonna have some caution. Watch out for some rain on the road. Some nice showers coming down for you with that heavy rainfall we saw on the radar earlier. As we're looking at our 7-day forecast, we have that nice stormy weather coming in tomorrow. Saturday, it's going to be mostly sunny, so I put that sunny, excited little emoticon there so we can have some nice fall activities coming up. And tune in later for
Welcome back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. Ground beef that is potentially contaminated with metal shavings was sent to Taco Bell restaurants across the country, according to the recall announced by the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Food Safety and Inspection Service. The recall affects Taco Bell franchises in 20 states, including New York. The issue was discovered after 3 customer complaints were filed. In a response, the franchise says the product was immediately removed from the affected restaurants.
President Trump has hit Turkey with harsh new sanctions over its military offense in northern Syria that has let ISIS prisoners run free and displaced tens of thousands of people from their homes. U.S. lawmakers on both sides are challenging the president's sanctions, saying they're not enough. Reed Binion has the latest.
The President of the United States called on the President of Turkey to stop the invasion, to enact an immediate ceasefire and to begin negotiations with Kurdish forces in Syria.
President Trump is slapping Turkey with punishing sanctions in a new executive order, hiking steel tariffs back up to 50% and cutting off negotiations for a trade deal. This in response to Turkey's military offensive in northern Syria.
That's not going to solve the problem. The problem has already been created by the president giving Turkey a green light to invade Syria. And they took advantage of that green light, and now we have this terrible problem.
President Trump's decision to pull out American troops backing Kurdish fighters in northern Syria has lawmakers on both sides of the political fence drawing lines in the sand in disagreement with that decision, including Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, who usually has the president's back in tough times, and Republican Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who says he is gravely concerned by recent events in Syria.
General Allen said it very well. The president has blood on his hands, and it's going to be a lot of blood. Also, we're going to see the black flag of ISIS reemerging once again in Syria.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Turkey began its assault in northern Syria last week after the United States withdrew its troops from Kurdish-held areas close to the Turkish border.
Actress Felicity Huffman reported to a federal prison in Northern California on Tuesday to start a 14-day sentence for her role in a massive college admission scandal involving some of the top colleges in the United States. The Desperate Housewives star surrendered to authorities at the Federal Correctional Institution in Dublin, California. Huffman will also have to pay a fine of $30,000 and perform 250 hours of community service.
Parents are urged to be extra careful when checking candy this Halloween. Nerd Ropes, looking exactly alike to the Willy Wonka brand, were found in a drug bust containing 400 milligrams of THC. The Ferrara Candy Company, which produces the Nerd Rope candy, said in a statement that they are promising to work with authorities to ensure its safety.
A 7-story building collapsed Tuesday in an upscale part of the Brazilian city Fortaleza. The collapse killed one person and left others trapped, with some communicating with family members by cell phone from under debris. Fire Department Commander Clayton Berzera said 9 people were missing, though it was unclear if they were under the rubble or just unreachable by relatives and friends. 10 survivors have been found along with an unidentified body.
U.S. lawmakers seek to remove marijuana possessions as an offense which can lead to the deportation of immigrants and block re-entry into the U.S. Currently, trafficking of a controlled substance is grounds for deportation. The bill would mean any offenses involving the use, possession, or distribution of marijuana shall not be considered as grounds of inadmissibility. Earlier this year, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services issued a memo stating that immigrants are ineligible for citizenship if they use marijuana or engage in cannabis-related activities.
A former Fort Worth officer is now out of jail after posting bond charged in the shooting death of a woman inside her home. Mandy Griffith reports.
Less than 3 days after Tatiana Jefferson was killed in the bedroom of her own home, the officer who police say fired the shot.
Aaron Dean, ID 4598, was the officer who responded to the call and fired the shot that killed Tatiana.
Aaron Dean, now charged with murder. But for the family of Jefferson, justice is still a long way off.
Senseless. My daughter was 28 years old, had her whole life in front of her.
The family's lawyer, civil rights attorney Lee Merritt, tweeting, "The family of Atatiana Jefferson is relieved that Aaron Dean has been arrested and charged with murder. We need to see this through to a vigorous prosecution and appropriate sentencing."
Watching the video, I don't understand. There's no way to go in thinking that you have to shoot someone every time you go on the call.
The call was for what was supposed to be a simple welfare check. A neighbor was concerned about open doors, so he called the non-emergency line.
Well, the front doors have been open since 10 o'clock, and I haven't seen anybody moving around. It's not normal for them to have both of the doors open this time of night.
Police released edited body camera footage showing the responding officers moving through Jefferson's property in the dark with a flashlight. No announcement that officers were outside the window. Then, Dean quickly approaches a window with his gun drawn, yelling, and within seconds, firing a single fatal shot.
Put your hands up! Show me your hands!
Atatiana Jefferson was killed as her 8-year-old nephew in the room watched.
The first thing he told me was he was sad. And I asked him, why was he sad? And he told me because the police had shot his aunt.
Nobody looked at that video and said there's any doubt that this officer acted inappropriately.
Now, Dean is charged with murdering Atatiana Jefferson, killed less than 10 minutes after that initial call for a welfare check in the bedroom of her own home.
Dean was hired in August 2017 and commissioned as a licensed officer in April 2018, according to the Fort Worth Police. Coming up in sports, John Purdeck.
John, can you give us a quick preview?
In sports tonight, an Oswego volleyball player gets recognized. Laker hockey introduces new players and updates on the Knicks and Yankees. Plus much more when you come back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. Welcome back to WTOP 10. I'm John Purdeck with your sports update. Let's get right into it. Oswego State women's volleyball player Shauna O'Flaherty won the SUNYAC Player of the Week. She led the Lakers to a 3-0 record the past week, including a victory over Nazareth College, who they have not beaten in the past 20 years. The senior tallied a double-double against the Golden Flyers and hit a .519 from the floor against Plattsburgh. O'Flaherty and the Lakers will play Buffalo State in a conference matchup Friday at 6 p.m. Over to the ice, the Oswego hockey team is proud to announce 2 newcomers to the 1920 roster. The transfer from Western Michigan University, Carson Vance, recorded 168 games with the USHL, with the goals 8 assists for 63 points. Freshman and Niagara Falls native Alex DiCarlo is arriving from the Central Canadian Hockey League. He played 178 games for 145 points. The Lakers and the newcomers will be preparing for an exhibition game Saturday at home. With Game 3 being played tonight, Yankees manager Aaron Boone is thinking about what a Game 4 rainout could mean for his pitching staff. The Yanks are expected to go with a bullpen day due to inclement weather. If Game 4 gets postponed to Thursday, Masahiro Tanaka would be on the regular rest and would be in consideration to start. League Commissioner Rob Manfred says he will wait and see on the decision for Wednesday's game and expected rainfall. Over to the hardwood, Knicks head coach David Fizdale told media that the development of New York free agents in New York is looking like a success. With the signing of some NBA household names like Julius Randle, Marcus Morris, and Bobby Portis, he says there is a foundation to build upon. Fizdale lost to Emmanuel Mudiay to the Jazz and Noah Vonleh to the Timberwolves. This summer, he still feels confident in his new acquisitions as the Knicks host the Hawks tomorrow at MSG.
So, John, are you looking forward to any football games coming up?
Yeah, there should be a lot of good ones. New York coming up, New York Giants. Danny Dimes should be at quarterback for the New York Giants, looking for a win coming up again.
I'll be sure to watch that game.
Are you a Giants fan?
I'm a big Giants fan, but it's been a difficult path this season. But we're looking to get better. I'm looking forward to the rest of the season.
Attending any type of games or anything like that coming up?
The national game? Oh, the Detroit Lions and the Packers last night had a really good game. The Packers last night went off a game-ending walk-off field goal, and Packers fans were left in the dust.
And how's the weather looking, Bethany?
It's looking pretty good right now, nice and clear. You know, we've got the 7-day forecast up for you guys. Tomorrow, nice and rainy, stormy day. You know, I'm going to take my dog out for a walk. I know he's going to play in all the puddles. This weekend, though, we're looking forward to some nice sun. You know, partly cloudy, not that bad, but high 60s, you know, looking really nice. I'm so excited.
Well, that's our report for tonight. Be sure to stay tuned for Nerd Herd.
And thank you for watching. Have a great night, everyone.